As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand, love the concept, love what they give back, love the community, love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Okay, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today we have a very special guest in my kitchen. We've been talking about doing this for a really long time, but he's very, very busy. Mr. Andy Hurley, thank you for being here.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Andy X Hurley X.
Yeah.
Thanks. We were just talking about Dune and the love for the movie, and it's I never read the book as a kid. I really know much about it. One of my closest friends is in it, so I went to the first one. And then we went out to New York for the premiere, which was insane. Like, the whole cast was there. We all dressed up. It was fucking sick. And I still didn't really get it. And I always ask him questions about it. But on my last flight home from Europe, I watched 1 and then I watched 2. And then I totally got it.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, man.
Yeah, it is. I've never actually read the books. I grew up on the David Lynch movie back in the day.
Okay.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, so I really wasn't in that type of that movie, but then, like, you have to support your friends. So I was like, oh my God, I hope I like it. And then the Austin kid.
Oh, he rules, yeah. Austin Butler, yeah.
Yo, his like character in the new Dune was incredible, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so pretty.
He's so, out there in his performance.
Dude, it was incredible, man. But yeah, that movie is pretty big movie, and that's a book, like, whatever. I'm gonna get you one of these books anyway.
Oh, thank you. That'd be sick.
So I just talked to you. I think we texted and you said, like, the Download Festival was like one of the greatest shows for you guys.
Yeah.
And really like one of the best?
Yeah, serious.
Do you feel like a lot of them are always the best, or just depends?
I mean, I do feel like I am more grateful as time goes on.
Yeah.
And I just love doing it. And so every show is important and meaningful.
Totally.
But it just felt so big, and like the set list was super fun, and felt like a great retrospective of our career.
Yeah.
The whole production was insane. I think it's, the biggest production we've had.
Wow.
So it felt cool to be a part of.
Yeah. Who else was on your day?
Offspring was right before us.
Oh yeah, my brother. Oh wow. That's crazy.
Pantera was on the other stage headlining.
Wow. Do you watch bands now? Do you I know you're warming up and stuff like that.
I watched some of Offspring
a
little bit, and then I watched one song for Pantera behind Charlie.
Crazy,
which was
man.
sick.
Yeah.
And then I had to go warm up and get ready.
Yeah. They're killing it too, Pantera. Yeah. Wow. And then, are you a big Pantera fan, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And I love Charlie. He's great dude, great drummer.
Great drummer.
One of my inspirations for wanting to be a drummer.
Damn. And Lombardo too for you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The big four, yeah.
Who's the big four?
Lars, Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie, Anthrax, Dave Lombardo, Slayer, and then I'd say Nick Menza era for Megadeth.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, Lars is super cool. Good person. And I just had Rob on my podcast too recently from Metallica.
Oh, nice.
He's such an OG, like Venice, like just suicidal shit. That's cool. How many years you been in Fall Out Boy now?
Since 2002 or 3 or something.
So you weren't originally in there, correct?
No, I mean, I was in bands with Pete and stuff before. And
like 3 or 4 bands.
I think they wanted me originally, but I was in like 4 other bands at the time.
So many bands.
So I did a split with Fall Out Boy on the first thing we both put out.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in it spiritually, I guess.
Yeah. And then you played drums for them live on a tour.
Then their first tour, I toured with them, and then I was just kind of in it from that point.
I mean, I don't know what the order of these bands are, but there's like obviously Race Trader, Kill the Slave Master, Project Rocket?
Yep.
X for Death or Glory X, The Kill Pill, Arma Angelus. Is that
Arma Angelus.
Arma Angelus, Burning Empires.
Yep.
There's so many bands.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Menominee Falls?
Menominee
Falls. Was I never even heard of that. It's like
Milwaukee, basically.
Yeah, super small town.
Yeah.
Like how many people are there?
I don't even know.
It sounds so small.
It's small.
But it sounds cool though.
Yeah.
So like a big city, nothing like that. Yeah.
No, not a big city. But like right by Milwaukee, which I guess also isn't a big city, but then an hour and a half from Chicago.
Yeah. Also something we have similarities that my father passed when I was 3, yours at 5.
Yep.
And my mom held the fort down with my 2 brothers, and you have a sister, right?
I have 5 half brothers, 4 half sisters.
Holy crap, dude. So your mom was just like held it down.
Well, they were all, the youngest is 10 years older.
Okay.
So they were all out of the house, and they were my dad's kids.
Okay. So who was in the house with you? Was it your mom?
It was just my mom and I for most of it. Maggie, the youngest, was in for a little bit, and Sean, the youngest boy.
Yeah.
But as soon as they went to college, they moved out.
So it was just you and mom's.
And I think there was weirdness with, my mom being their stepmom and stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's hard, man, losing, I still like, obviously, I sing about it. Obviously, I'm going to therapy now at 54 years old because of all that stuff I never had closure with as a kid.
Yeah.
Not going to the funeral and not really knowing what's going on at that age and trying to comprehend, like, where is my dad? So I'm sure you went through the same thing. It's just very hard as a kid to go through that.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of, feelings of being deserted or left behind, stuff like that.
Yeah. Even just not knowing, it's too young to comprehend it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
What was it like growing up there?
I don't know. It's like a small town suburb.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. There's cliques, I guess, in high school and middle school and all that. But I feel like I knew everyone because I lived on the same block with people. The stars of each clique. So I was cool with everybody.
The stars of each clique.
And I was kind of the weirdo when I, vegan straight edge, super young in high school. And I think everyone was, that wasn't a thing then really. So I think everyone was like, whoa, this is cool or weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Like 16.
And I was so outspoken about it.
Yeah. Super militant.
Yep.
Earth crisis.
Yep.
So like when you were 16 around that time?
Yep.
Okay, before that though, you were like a more of a metalhead kind of kid, right?
Yep, I grew up.
Just name those bands, yeah.
Metal.
And then, were you going to shows at an early age? Did you go to like big metal shows before you went to hardcore shows?
My first show was Cannibal Corpse.
Sick. That's sick.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I don't know.
Before
14.
Okay, yeah.
13, 14, something like that.
So obviously through Metallica, Megadeth, all those bands, you started finding out about those other kind of bands like that, probably. Obituary, just all
Got
those.
into like death metal. Yep.
Yeah, what shirts.
Because of Metal Maniacs magazine.
I remember that.
And then my sister lived in Brazil, so she introduced me to Sepultura.
Boom. Okay.
Like Beneath the Remains era.
Awesome.
Maybe even before that.
That's sick.
And then, so that got me into like thrash and death metal. And then Metal Maniacs also had like Helmet and like Agnostic Front and like New York hardcore bands in it. So that's how I got into hardcore.
Kind of crossover shit.
And then Revelation Records. There was a kid in my school, Scott, I can't remember his last name now, but he always wore a bomber jacket and was into like Revelation Records bands and Gorilla Biscuits and stuff like that. And that's how I got into that, because he was like the cool kid that I looked up to.
That's cool. And then obviously finding probably Victory Records stuff, Snapcase, Earth Crisis.
Well, I guess Epitaph first, and then Hardcore, and then Rev, and then Victory, and then Earth Crisis. That kind of at the time brought it back as that, you know, the heaviest, most metallic band at the time.
100%.
I was like, holy shit, it can be like metal.
Yeah.
This is sick.
It's crazy we're naming like the labels, because that was a thing, like Fat Records, Epitaph, Victory, all that roster. People just loved all those bands.
Yeah.
And there was those like...
That's how you found out about bands, through following the labels or very distribution.
The compilation
like
CDs, all that.
Pumps, yeah.
It was so cool to discover music like that. But then Earth Crisis, were you like... did you eat a lot of meat growing up? Like, was your family having meat in the house a lot, or was it...
Yeah, my mom ate meat and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just kind of a, I don't know, fast food kid almost.
Mm-hmm. But you really never thought about it, like the animal stuff, until you heard Earth Crisis, probably.
Well, when I joined Race Trader, before I did, I was in Kill a Save Master, and when I met them, I was just straight edge.
Okay.
And all those guys were vegan, and I'd like stay over at their houses, and we'd make food, and that's how I kind of learned about veganism.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like Subway veggie delight sandwiches with no cheese and stuff.
That's all
there was.
I know, man. It's crazy. Yeah. And now they got like vegan burgers there now or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. And then the straight edge came. Was it through Earth Crisis as well, or other bands?
Yeah, I think straight edge came from Youth Today and Earth Crisis.
Sick.
And that was first.
That was first. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Thinking about that back then, the impact, all that stuff. It was like such a long time from Minor Threat when those bands came out, and that was the whole other wave of it, you know? Like,
well, I loved Minor Threat too.
Yeah, the best, dude. They're my top. But GB is my top too as well, obviously.
Yep.
Even the Judge record, listening to it now, Earth Crisis, and I were watching them at the show in Canada, and he's like, you know what, man? He's like, bringing it down is the age of core of straight edge.
Oh yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
Sick. It was so ahead of its time too. The guitars.
I was never super into Cro-Mags.
Yeah.
When I just missed it, and so I feel like now getting into it is harder for me. But like Judge was my age of quarrel, for sure.
It was so hard, dude. Because there was nothing really like that.
No.
I mean, Earth Crisis was hard music wise, but Judge had this whole other, like, with Mike and everything, and just like all the stories and how were you in school?
I was really good, I guess. I'd get in arguments with teachers about politics and stuff. And
wow.
I think teachers liked me because I was pretty involved, but I'd skip a lot. And I remember a teacher asking me, like, are you coming to class today? But it was like friendly, like, love to have you today. Not like a, adversarial approach, which I think helped, because I was like, all right, I'll go. But then I ended up dropping out second semester senior year and just got my GED.
Oh, wow.
Went to community college and then transferred to a state college.
Wow. What were you doing in community college? What was like your...
like history and anthropology.
Okay. Wow, okay.
But I was playing music the whole time.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Like you started playing bands when you were in high school?
Yep.
Yeah. And playing shows?
Yeah.
What was your first like hardcore show?
First hardcore show was 7 Seconds, I think.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You a big fan of 7 Seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. That's awesome. And then after that, he's probably got the bug and started going to shows and just being part of this community and all that.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you first go to your first show and that what you feel being there. You know, it's so different from the big metal shows you saw, I'm sure.
Oh, totally. Like it was an instant community. That's where I met, like, our crew in Milwaukee was Reign of Terror crew at the time. And they were all there. And I remember meeting Jesse and Seb, Straight Edge Bomber, who passed away a long time ago, Paul. And they were just like they were scary, but they were like the nicest dudes to me. Yeah. Because I don't know, they saw a young straight edge kid and took me in.
It's awesome, man.
And that was it. I was like, wow, this is sick.
Yeah.
And that's before I knew anyone who was straight edge or vegan or anything.
Okay.
So that was my first introduction.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's the same thing, me moving to New York, not knowing anybody, and all these scary people like took me under their wing, and they broke my balls. They gave me tough skin, but they gave me tough love too.
I remember one show, the scariest dude, Andre, I bought like a Kickback record, and then he came up and was like, hey, that was my record. I was going to buy it. And he was like, what? Like, give it to me. That's my record. I was going to buy it. I was like, all right, I'm sorry. And the dude who sold to me, I can't remember his name, Dan from Life Sentence Records.
Okay.
He was like, nah, he was here first. Fuck you. And then I was like, it's okay here. I was so young and scared. Man. He's huge. And I was just like, here. And he's like, I'm just kidding with you. I was like, this rules. And I see him a lot when I go home to Milwaukee. Yeah. And he's just like the nicest dude.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, those big, scary, kind of tough guys are like super sweet teddy bears and look out for you and shit.
I think they watch out for the flock, you know, like.
Yeah. Were you a little guy growing up?
Yep.
Did you do sports and stuff?
I mean, I played soccer. Yeah. But I would kind of quit everything at that point when I was young.
What about like skateboarding?
No. I just never was good. I could never evolve past the kickflip.
Yeah.
And I was never good at that.
I never got a kickflip either. Yeah. I'm two 80s.
Yeah.
And then was drums the first instrument you learned?
Yep. Playing on pots and pans.
You played saxophone first though, or something?
Yeah, I played saxophone for, well, I guess since middle school.
That's cool.
And I think 6th grade, 8th grade is the last year of middle school is when I started playing drums in school, but I played saxophone in band for the first 2 years. And then I started playing drums and then drums all through high school in school band.
Can you still play saxophone?
No, I mean, I think I still remember some of the notes and I can still read music.
That's cool.
Though not super well because it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think I could pick it up if I tried.
Is it because your sister bought you Ride the Lightning record or something?
Oh yeah, we went to like Sam Goody or Tower Records or whatever it was, and then my mom took us and we're buying records, and so she was like, "Okay, you pick a record or two." Yeah. So I picked Ride the Lightning because the cover was sick. Yeah. And then Van Halen won.
Hard.
Because of the cool logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was it.
That's crazy how like we like picked out music back then too. Like the album covers was so important, man. The artwork and stuff like just caught your eye. Like, oh my God, I got to hear that. That's awesome. And then like for me, like Metallica, when they started wearing like Misfits shirts and stuff like that, a lot of people say on this podcast, like that's when they found out about the Misfits because what t-shirts bands were wearing and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, Cliff.
Yeah. What is like the thank you notes, all that stuff is so important in discovering things, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Anthrax covering Discharge and stuff like that.
You're right. So you have a double major, that's right, anthropology and history.
I never finished.
Okay. You never finished, yeah.
No.
Have you used
touring?
Have you used any of that stuff you learned in real life?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, conversations.
Yeah.
Totally. Or arguments with people, maybe. Though I've forgotten it all. So.
So then, what band were you in before Fall Out Boy? Because there's so many bands.
When Fall Out Boy started, I was in the Kill Pill.
Okay. Yeah.
Race Trader still.
Jeez.
I think that was at the end of that.
And you like played in 1999 on a Vegan Reich record or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I flew in and recorded that with Sean.
You played with Earth Crisis for a second too on drums?
Yeah, I just did a tour.
That's cool though. That must have been awesome for you.
And then a Sound and Fury, I think.
Sick.
It was amazing.
That's cool.
It's a lifelong dream.
Yeah. But also you credit this band X Sex Sect X is like a big inspiration for veganism from Canada.
Oh, it's Scott, who's in Earth Crisis.
Okay.
Jimmy Chang, who's in like Undying and Perfect Cleansing, and he's in Catharsis. Steve, who's in Day of Suffering, or was in Day of Suffering. But they've been around for a while. Chris from Toronto, who's in Cursed and Left 4 Dead and a bunch of bands.
But that was like a big influence for you as well.
Yeah, like Cursed is one of my favorite hardcore bands, obviously. They're all of them. Like Day of Suffering was one of my favorite bands. Earth Crisis, obviously. Undying, Catharsis. And then, you know, in doing the Earth Crisis tour, I met Scott, and we were like, we got to do a band. And then I played in this band Enabler, and we toured with Burning Love, which Chris Callahan from Curse was in. Okay. And after that tour, we were like, we should do a band. And then we kind of collapsed it all together.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love that. I love all, like, it's kind of like the whole Baltimore scene now with Turnstile and Diamond Life and all those bands, Angel Dust, all the friends who grew up together, they all rotate bands and do things. Yeah. I love that whole thing.
Cool how scenes do that.
Yeah. GB did that too.
Or Friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, in the Midwest, really didn't get it. People mostly talk about Chicago and different spots like that, but like Milwaukee, I had some great shows playing there, obviously. But it was like, it's pretty tight little scene. Yeah.
Yeah. The Rave Bar was the place.
The Rave, right?
A lot of shows there, yeah.
I know. Is that that's the one where they have Milwaukee Metal Fest?
No. Yep.
With a weird swimming pool in the bottom or some haunted shit?
Yep, yeah.
What's up with that? the Dahmer Hotel across the street.
Across the street, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, the haunted pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very weird.
It's interesting, yeah. Is there still like a good scene there now?
I don't know. I mean, I think so. There's a couple bands that I've seen coming out of there that are really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name offhand. My friend who still lives there will tell me about it. Tell me about them. So it seems like it's a good scene.
Yeah.
Still going on.
So I guess Fall Out Boy had something out before you joined, obviously, right?
Yeah, just a full length that maybe? I wasn't on. I'm on that.
Okay. That's the first thing you're on, maybe.
Yeah. No. But they had the first thing they did was a split with Project Rocket, which I was in. And so I was in Kill Pill, Project Rocket, Race Trader, and I think something else.
Damn.
And so they didn't ask me because they were like, I'm too busy. And I'm going to college. Yeah. But then I did the tour, and then they were starting to write for what would become Take This to Your Grave.
Yep.
And they were like, can you just record drums? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, once I toured with them and was writing with them and heard Patrick's voice, I was like, this kid is amazing.
So unique. Did you just want to do music when you got out of college and high school?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. You didn't care how you did it, just wanted to do it and play and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man. So then, you play on that, and then obviously the rest is history, I guess. Yeah. Wow, man. It's such a crazy journey with these records. I was going through the records and just the different ups and downs of the career, then going away, then coming back, then having the massive songs on the record when you come back, and the hiatus. Or then you're doing all the stuff in the hiatus, all these different groups, and then it's a crazy journey. And to come back and be like even bigger, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's super weird.
And the hiatus.
And I feel like coming back from lockdown and the pandemic, we've been bigger than ever.
Yeah,
I think coming back from the hiatus, people and it meant more to us because we missed it. We missed playing with each other. Like we, came back together as friends and stronger friends than ever.
Yeah,
and made sure that was kind of the focus of what we do.
Yeah,
and I think that informs how we were as a band. Mm-hmm. Like making sure to nurture that side of it.
Yeah,
and then I think people missed us, I guess. I don't know. It was very weird. And then coming back from pandemic, I think everyone just missed shows and music.
100%, man. I feel like it's thriving. Like there's so many hardcore bands. There's so many bands that were born just online during the pandemic, like Speed, who were fucking awesome. Like they hadn't even played a show yet. And then now that's just like, totally. So many hardcore bands, man. It's so beautiful, man.
It is.
It's like there's so much diversity and community and unity, all the stuff that bands were trying to sing about in the 80s and 90s. People were still fighting during Rock Together when they played it. But it seems like now when you look at it as like an older person looking at the scene, like it's beautiful, man. It's crazy, man. There's so many awesome bands, man.
Yeah.
is so much diversity. It's really actually happening.
Totally.
You know? And I feel like, I think Turnstile is a big part of that, like the umbrella of Turnstile and all their friends and all the other bands that they've taken under the wing or took on tour. And it's just like,
yeah,
it's pretty amazing, man.
It is. Yeah.
Just how far it's come, you know?
It's crazy.
So you start touring with Fall Out Boy when that record comes out, right? You guys are pretty busy.
I mean, it was like 300 days a year at that time.
From the first Take This to Your Grave. Wow.
Started touring just unbelievable, which kind of led to because I think we just would go from touring and then a record and then touring, like no breaks.
That cycle.
So by the time, Folie à Deux came out in 2009 or whatever, we were just so burnt out, and that's what led to the hiatus, which was kind of, at the time we weren't sure we'd ever do the band again. Yeah. It was just, I think Patrick and Joe were young when they joined the band, so they had a lot, you kind of miss, like, life isn't normal when you tour. Yeah. It's a different thing. So I think everyone kind of needed to adjust to life. Yeah. There's so much sacrifice involved going on tour. Yeah. People's birthdays and funerals, wedding, everything. You're missing so much, man. Yeah. People think that it's like all like glorious and wonderful and glamorous, but it's hard, man. Oh yeah. Like those 23 hours of like traveling, trying to sleep, trying to eat good, trying to exercise, leading up to that 1 hour or two you play. That's the work, I think, the travel part, Yeah, totally. And it's like, it's a lot, man. Changes friendships and... Yeah. I'm not complaining whatsoever because... Oh, yeah, me neither. Still play music. But as you get older, too, and you have a family or all that stuff, and like... Some people are fortunate enough to bring their kids and families on tour. It's awesome. I try to do that, too. But some people can't. And just like that whole separation thing is... Yeah. So when you guys are touring, obviously on that first record, you're just playing shows. It wasn't a huge success at that point, was there? No. I mean... That was before Dance Dance and Sugar. Yeah. I think Take This to Your Grave started the rise with Grand Theft Autumn. Okay. But yeah, it was definitely... It took a while. I mean, for us, it was 300 shows a year. So like, there's a lot of work going into it. I think from the outside looking in, maybe it looks like it was instantaneous or something, but... No, not for sure. It was a lot leading up to that. Tours where the only audience was the other bands on the tour. But you're doing music full time at that point, though. Yeah. Like nobody's working in between when they get home from tour like that. Yeah. What was the last real job you had? You had a boss, you had to clock in. UPS, I think. Sick. Yeah. Were you a driver or something, or? Sorter. Okay. Well, first I would load the trucks, and then I switched to sorting, where you sort to the different zip codes. Damn. But that was super hard. Good benefits, though. Memorize. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a union job, so it was great benefits. What year was that? Was before you joined? Yeah. Wow. 2000, around there. So that's the last time. It's pretty awesome. Like that, it's pretty amazing. Yeah. I applied for UPS probably less than 10 years ago for just for Christmas. I was off for something, and they hired me fully tattooed. It was kind of crazy, man. And then like 3 days later, we got offered a tour. I was like, hey, I'm not doing it. But it was cool to go and actually try to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a great job. Yeah. I thought. Good benefits. Yeah. So when those songs do hit, like Sugar and Dance and all that, how does your life change? I mean, you're probably already making a living at that point from touring, and you're so busy. But then when all of a sudden that happens, that was a pretty big moment. Yeah. I mean, but it's just like, littered with huge moments that keep getting bigger. Yeah. So it doesn't feel... it's not 0 to 100. You're going along the way. But I mean, there's definitely, I remember being on Warped Tour when we first hit number 1 on TRL. Wow. And it was like, this is crazy. Are you like main stage of the Warped Tour at that point? I think because sometimes we were, but I think that's when we really started being the draw there with My Chem. That was the year both of us kind of hit. Damn. And we're jockeying for number 1 on TRL, I think. That summer. Crazy. And you're on a tour where like you don't know what time you're playing until you wake up the next morning. And it was still the same thing, Yeah. Even as we got bigger, it was still like you're playing at 2. Like, cool. Which is kind of cool about the Warped Tour, man. It's kind of stressful and annoying, but like for the listeners, you don't know what time you're playing until like maybe 10 or 11 in the morning. You find out. They give you the list of who's playing. Each day. Doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. You keep playing on a flatbed truck. Yep. I saw Sum 41 play on there when they had a huge song on the radio. It was like the whole entire crowd was watching them every day, but they had signed up to be on it
that's what they signed up for. And then by
Yep.
the time they get on the tour, the record's huge.
Much bigger,
like,
yeah.
It's crazy how that works. But yeah, so then that's just like going. It's just going at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it started
Really
for
going.
real, yeah.
And does
That was crazy.
Yeah. Do people like start recognizing you where you live and all that stuff? Was that different?
No, I mean, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, maybe there's a little more heat or something, but it's still being the drummer, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not the one people connect to the band as much as like Pete.
So you can keep a low pro if you want to.
Yeah, which is cool.
It's kind of cool. Though.
And I was still living in Milwaukee, so it wasn't, people aren't looking for you. Like everyone else moved here where people are kind of looking for
that's kind of cool. You stayed off the grid kind of.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to move to Cali, get in Hollywood, all that stuff. Yeah.
I never thought I would live here.
Yeah, until now.
Yeah.
So your life's pretty just normal. You're just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yep. Had the same group of friends that I, came up with.
Yeah. Everybody's obviously stoked for you guys and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's crazy, man. Just like those moments, but they continue to go even, like you said, up until that record. Then you get to take the hiatus. But then coming back with the Say Rock and Roll record, that was insane, bro. That was like really, because that gap is like what? That was the last record was 2009. I think go to the 13.
2009 or 10 was the last show.
Yeah.
And then 2013.
So it was 3 years.
So I guess end of 2012 or something is when we started. So it was like 2.5 years.
And when you took the break, how did that feel? Was that like a?
It was tough at first because I think you're so for me, because we toured so much and everything was so planned out and scheduled for us, it was so institutionalizing where I felt so aimless and like I had no direction. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was super depressed.
Damn. Yeah, because that's your life. That's your everything's organized. I think it's like, okay,
and I
now
just didn't
what?
know. Yeah, what do I do now?
And it's such a weird reality being in a band, and then the reality of like whatever, being a homeowner or cutting your grass or having kids or taking your kids to school or just like the normal civilian type life after coming off the road and shit. It's like
very weird. Yeah, transition.
Yeah, dude. It's almost like what is my purpose? And now you're just like back home, and then. You guys keep in touch with each other during that time, obviously?
Yeah, I think I feel like I kept in touch the best. I was in another band with Joe called The Damn Things.
Yep.
And I would talk to Pete and Patrick all the time, go to see like Patrick did a solo thing. I'd go to his shows.
Yeah.
Pete had a project called The Black Card, something like that I'd go see him. So I would see everyone.
Yeah, you had The Damn Things. You had the record came out. You have Enabler. You have X, Focus Mind X.
Yeah.
Fuck City record label you have.
Burning Empires was then, which is with, a bunch of guys who are in Misery Signals.
Okay, yeah. And you put that record out too, one of the records, yeah. So you stayed busy though.
Yeah, I stayed
as
busy as I
for your
could.
freaking sanity.
But it wasn't as busy.
Oh, no.
But that's when I did the Earth Crisis tour.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So, but you were in a place where you could just... You didn't have to work. You were chill. You're smart. You're like, you probably had a place. Yeah. You remember buying your first house probably back then too, probably?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. Especially
my
where you
first
live
house,
too.
Paid off all my debts, paid off all my mom's debts.
That's that's awesome, man. She got to be so proud, man. That's amazing, man. So then you're just back in Milwaukee, just like living. And then there's really everybody's doing their own thing. For 3 years, which doesn't seem like that much a long time, but
no, it doesn't. At the time, it did. I mean, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, but everybody was cool. Everybody's just burnt. You're just burnt from stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some lingering feelings.
Yeah.
You're trapped in a bus with each other for so long, so
all different personalities, everything, man. Are you the only vegan straight edge member?
Yep.
Sick. Same with me and my band. But everybody's cool. There's so many bands cool. like that. If you think about Minor Threat, there's only one member that was straight edge. That was that's crazy.
It's crazy.
But yeah, like that whole thing too, and eating and probably working out. Were you already working out? You on the CrossFit back then too?
Just at the tail end.
Okay.
Is when I was getting into it.
Were you working out before that? Doing any kind of exercise?
Not really.
CrossFit?
Maybe running.
Yeah.
Occasionally, but nothing serious.
And then what was it about CrossFit?
Well, I got into Jim Jones first.
Okay.
Which is like a CrossFit style thing that Mark
It's a style of CrossFit? Okay.
Well, Mark Twight started Jim Jones, but he was there in the early days of CrossFit with Greg Glassman.
Okay.
They were friends. Or he found CrossFit and then became friends with Greg Glassman like way
CrossFit.
early on in like 2000.
Okay.
And kind of lined up with what he was into. Mark Twiight's like, old school punk guy.
Oh, that's cool.
So he wrote a lot about fitness from that perspective, which really resonated with me as like a punk hardcore kid, which is what drew me to it. Jim Jones is who trained like Henry Cavill for Superman and Jason Momoa and everyone for all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And they had a contentious relationship at the time with CrossFit because they kind of, Greg Glassman and Mark Twight are big personalities, and I think they butted heads.
Yeah.
And so they kind of did their own thing. So they hated CrossFit, I think, at the time.
Okay.
And so I always was like, oh, screw that, it's stupid, it's a cult or whatever. And then when Fall Out Boy started doing stuff again, like started recording or writing new music and recording for Save Rock and Roll, is when I was here a bunch, trying to drop into gyms to do Jim Jones stuff.
Okay.
And then finally I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to CrossFit. It's the same, like, Jim Jones is CrossFit based. Like, it's very similar. So I was like, I'm just going to do that. And I did a class. It looked like it would be super easy, and it like beat me down and destroyed me. And I was like, okay, this is sick. And there's just a community to it. I mean, both things, Jim Jones too. But CrossFit definitely, like a community that's kind of like hardcore, that reminded me of that same thing.
Yeah.
Where everyone's there together doing the same thing, suffering together. Like you're clapping and cheering for the last person to finish.
Yeah. It's no joke, man.
Yeah. It's just a cool experience. Like, the community of it is attractive to me.
Yeah. And the whole work, I mean, I did it once with, shout out to Josh James, Stick to Your Guns. He got me there one day. I couldn't even walk after that. It was just, some things is not for everybody. And I did try it. Like I said, I'm in the gym now and I'm getting stronger and back in that world. I'm not really a gym person, but like I'm more of a runner. But yeah, it was pretty intense, man. Is it like Olympic kind of training? Like what, for the listeners for CrossFit?
Well, it's just like how Bruce Lee approached martial arts stuff with Jeet Kune Do, where he just took something from everything to make this like, almost like mixed martial arts is now. Like you take the best things. So it was just taking from like gymnastics and Olympic lifting and powerlifting and monostructural movements like running and whatever. And I think Greg Glassman was a gymnastics coach early, and he would supplement his gymnasts training with like Olympic lifting for the explosiveness and the kinesthetic awareness, the body awareness, like where your hips have to be in whatever, moving heavy weights. It transfers and translates to gymnastics. And as well as like strongman stuff like sled pushes transfers to running. Because you can produce, energy more efficiently and whatever. So kind of just, the original thing is, you take a bunch of movements in a hopper, the thing you spin, and then you take out like bingo numbers or whatever, and then you create a workout with 2 or 3 things.
Gotcha.
What is it? And to be able, the idea is to be able to do that, you're kind of increasing your fitness in all these categories, like together. You're
doing everything full
so
body,
you're broadening the range of your experience in movement. And where like maybe you're not a specialist in anything, but you're going to be second place against any normal civilian. So like an Olympic lifter will be the best at Olympic lifting, but like a CrossFitter will most likely at least be second place.
That's cool. And it changed everything for you, drumming and everything probably, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mentally, physically, everything, yeah.
I mean, it just raises awareness of like body awareness, like how flexible you are, like what you need to do to make up for deficiencies you have. I have a lot of shoulder issues from drumming. Being like my shoulders push forward, so like being able to open up your T-spine and
so you're super in tune with your body now, obviously. And
definitely.
Being vegan too, though.
For sure.
It's super important, man. I'm definitely noticing now that like since I've been going to the gym for like 2 weeks, I don't need naps anymore. I have more energy. It's interesting, which I thought I would just get that from like push-ups and running and all that stuff, but the weights and everything, and like doing legs today was like, and goals is just so legendary. Just the people there is just inspiring. Just walking around and just going there to work out, then leave. Like having a gym here is cool, but I get distracted and shit.
For sure.
But yeah, you've been pretty hardcore about it ever since you started it, though.
pretty 5 times a week since I started.
Wow, man. You ever get hurt?
I mean, I've gone down. Yeah, I've gotten hurt.
But
that's more from not paying attention to my, like, what's the word? Not flexibility, but like my I can't think of a simple word. I can't think of it. But just, not paying attention to like where I'm getting tight and where my joints are. And then just working out in spite of that.
You stretch a lot too?
Yeah, but more like dynamic stretching. Okay. So like,
but on tour, I'm sure. And then on tour, you doing CrossFit too? Like
I'll drop in. It's a good way to like get away from the venue.
Yeah.
And to like see a city, because you go there, you meet people there, you talk to them, you hear about a place.
Yeah. So it's a whole.
What's good?
You're all connected, probably in Europe to everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere.
It seems like it's. Not that it's not as big as it was. I mean, at one point, CrossFit was everything. They probably weeded out the people where they could actually hang with CrossFit and not do it because it was trendy. Like all the real CrossFit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's definitely peaked, and now it's kind of evening out or whatever.
Yeah. But it's cool, man. So it's like a whole different community. Different than going to a Gold's gym, obviously. It's like a whole different...
It is. Because you're doing the same workout together.
Yeah.
And I would argue that it is for everyone just because it's so scalable. You can scale it to... Mm-hmm. So it's, a difference in intensity or a difference in what weights you can use or what movement. Like if, you're not going to have an 80-year-old snatch, but you can have them do something similar that has the same intensity relative to them, to what it would be to me or to a real Olympic lifter.
Yeah.
Like you can scale it in every way.
For everybody. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what Josh did to you, but I'm sure he just was like, fuck it, you're doing this super hard thing instead of kind of scaling it to you.
Totally.
Where it wouldn't be as brutal.
I guess I was just trying to hang with his workout.
Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely...
That's what's hard about it.
Yeah.
You want to do that.
What about like a Barry's boot camp? You ever heard of that?
Yep.
I heard that's... You ever done that?
I haven't.
I heard it's intense.
Yeah, I believe it.
But this is something for everybody. I mean, everybody's different with their bodies. But also you probably upping your proteins too when you're working out so much too.
Definitely.
Which is super key, being vegan too, man. The biggest like questions, where do you get your protein from? All the myths about being strong and weak vegans, but there's probably a lot of vegans in the CrossFit community too, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah. So you're pretty smart with like your eating and your diet. You're pretty strict on that too?
No, not really.
Are you a junk food vegan?
A lot of Monties, yeah.
For real? What about Doomies? You been there yet?
Yeah, I like Doomies.
All right. So you're like more like that kind of, okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, you burn it off though.
Well, I feel like I earn it, hopefully.
Totally fucking earn it. So you're not eating salads and tofu and all that shit?
Once in a while.
Wow.
When I remember.
So you love the fake shit?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Such a game changer, man.
I'm definitely a kids meal vegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when all that Impossible and Beyond stuff came out, you were stoked.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I think there's a lot of vegans that are like, that's not for me, but you don't have to eat it then. It's your choice to eat it. But I think for people
more options
trying to cross over into our world, it's like something that tastes good and something that they could, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Ease them into it.
Totally. And something that they've tasted before because it's really good, man. But yeah. But then there's all like the meat industry now trying to say fake meat's not good for you. And they're trying to everybody's so threatened by it,
Yeah.
But I think it's cool to have options everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Like some vegans won't go to McDonald's to buy it. That's cool. I respect it. But it's there if you need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's ultimately a good thing.
Yeah. It's changed so much since I've been one, you've been one. The world's changed so dramatically. It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
More people are conscious about it. I think coming out of the pandemic as well, people started looking at their health, just everything, how they lived.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have the Happy Cow app, which has always been there.
Yep.
But it's really cool to see the world changing and bands like Earth Crisis, still vegan, still straight edge, still singing about it, and everything they sung about still happening. And it's just like to be here in 2024 and have so many options, man. It's like, I never thought it happened, man.
Yeah, me neither.
Because hardcore has been screaming about it since the 80s,
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool. So, yes, your workout's your big thing. You're a coffee guy, I see.
Yep.
Coffee every day?
Yeah.
It's hard, man. I quit it like November. I quit caffeine last year, and I'm back on yerba mate a little bit now. Coffee itself makes me crazy jittery and shit like that.
Yeah.
Are you one coffee a day?
2.
Okay. Is it lattes or black?
I do a pour over in the morning.
Okay.
And then I do a latte.
So you have a coffee machine at your crib?
Yeah. Well, I have a X Bloom. It's like a It's like a Keurig, but a pour-over version. So it has pods, but it does a pour-over in it. And then I also have like a bunch of fellow equipment to do pour-overs myself.
Damn.
So I'll switch between the two.
You're about that, yeah. Like you won't breathe.
It's just something funny about, or fun. There's something fun about it.
Yeah.
Something, about the routine of it.
Totally.
In the morning.
And then going to like cool coffee shops on tour and finding spots. Like that's another thing too. Like CrossFit. It's like something to like.
Well, it's like CrossFit, coffee, vegan food. It's a good way to like, a good reason to go out.
Totally.
Because I don't just go out and shop or like, whatever. I want to have something, a destination.
So you like you wake up early on tour and hit the streets and check out the towns and cities and
usually
churches.
I try to walk every day.
Even the same places you've always been to, it's fun just to like walking's so good too.
Yeah,
it's just as good as running, I think.
Oh, it definitely is.
I think it's really
I think it could be life-changing for people who don't do anything, just to walk every day.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I always seen the old couples like holding hands in the 80s and 70s taking their walks. I'm like, that's going to be me and my wife. Like just taking those night walks and just keeping your body moving too.
Yep.
And we talked earlier about doing, you never done a marathon?
No, I have.
Okay.
I did the Maui Marathon.
Okay.
And then I did a Spartan Beast in Honolulu.
And that's swimming too?
No, that's just like obstacle course racing.
Oh yeah, damn.
So it's awesome. Like half marathon obstacle course. It was great. I overheated on both.
Yeah, you're saying that, yeah.
And the Spartan race really messed me up. I had to take a nap for like 10 minutes in the middle of it. Where? Because my partner, it was in like where some ranch that they shot Jurassic Park at.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And apparently Disney wanted to buy it to turn it into a park.
Wow.
But the family didn't sell it or whatever. So we started the race, my friend and I, Seth, and we're about 2 miles in. I'm thinking we're like 5 miles in or something.
Yeah.
And we're on this, it's the most incline for any Spartan race. And it was like, almost vertical. Yeah. They had like ropes to help you climb.
Wow.
And we were stuck there for literally an hour because there was a backup.
Yeah.
But there's people doing Spartan Ultras, which is like marathon length or more, maybe 30 miles. So we had to let them go because they can't stop or they're screwed.
That's crazy.
So we're there for an hour. And by the time we got going again and we hit a mile marker, it was 3 miles. And it killed me. Fuck. Like I was ruined because I was like, I thought we were further than this and I've been sitting here for an hour. Yeah. So it really screwed me up. I was cramping. And then get to maybe 6 miles and I was just feeling it. Damn. And it was like 13 miles in all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started feeling really like nauseous and pukey. And so I stopped doing obstacles and I wanted to quit. My friend was like, I think we should just quit. So we tried to find a person and there was a guy cramping on the ground screaming because it must have felt like murder. And they were like, yeah, we can't take you back. We could, like, if you're actually dying, we can take you, but like a medical emergency, but you're just cramping. We can't do that. Jeez, so I had to finish it.
Wow.
So we got to this another hill and we were close to the end there, maybe 2 miles left.
Yeah.
And my friend was there was like a long plain or whatever, like a long flat period. And he's like, you should just lie down and nap because there's nothing to do but finish it. And you're screwed. And we got to like keep the pace up once you're done. Yeah. So I just stayed there and slept.
You crashed pretty fast.
Yeah. I was just out of it because I was drinking water, but it wasn't doing anything. Like I felt because I was so dehydrated and overheated. Man. Yeah. So water wasn't helping.
Yeah.
And it was super scary. And people would go by and like, is he okay? But so we finished it.
Like a 10-minute nap and you just finished it.
Yeah, and then I felt much better.
Were you wrecked after that though? I'm sure, man.
Oh, I was wrecked. Dude. But the marathon was brutal too because I also overheated because it's hot there. Yeah. And I only trained, this was my fault because I only trained up to 13 miles, so half marathon. Yeah. I never trained. You're supposed to go to 20.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
Because your body can, you have like wiggle room for how much after what you've trained your body can deal with or is used to. Yeah. But you do have to train up to at least like 20 miles is what I've seen in all the training plans I've looked at.
I did not know that. Okay.
Because, it's a big like you have to learn how to fuel while you're running for hours upon end.
Yeah.
You have to learn, get your joints like used to that.
Yep.
All that stuff. So I got a half marathon, at a pace that was better than we thought. I was running it with the same friend, Seth, and his endurance is insane. So this is nothing to him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a anchor around his neck. But we get a halfway, and he's like super impressed, like, dude, we're killing it. And as soon as we hit the halfway mark, I was just done.
Damn.
And then I was basically walking the rest of the time.
You walked the rest? Wow.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, I would jog for little periods, but it would be like 5 minutes. And then I was like, I can't. And I that was one of the hardest things I've ever done, because it was hours of wanting to quit. Yeah. And just wishing someone could pick me up and knowing no one can. But I have miles and miles left. Damn. And it was, I cried at the end. Wow. Super emotional.
I'm sure it is, man. Wow. So you think you finished both of them then? Wow.
Yeah. Lost both toenails.
Really?
Chafed super bad. Was pissing blood after.
Fuck, dude. I never want to do a marathon, man.
No, it's like a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I want to do another one. I want to start doing halves.
Okay.
To like get the mileage.
I'd love to do a half too. I'm doing these 5Ks, which are easy. It's 3, but like a half is great too. Yeah.
Yeah, half's good.
Like LA Marathon's kind of sick. Like a New York one I heard is incredible, of all the different bridges and stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
My friend that did the London one, that looked pretty awesome, but like
I would suggest doing a flatter one.
Yeah.
Because the Maui Marathon had a lot of like incline.
Yeah.
And that I think is what really killed me.
Yeah, incline's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot. It adds a lot to it.
Damn. You felt dead after that one.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Fuck. And you were CrossFitting during that time too, right?
Yep.
So you're yeah.
But it's just a totally different thing.
But you felt the difference
really
in running after you started doing CrossFit, being stronger running. It might have been easier running when you're in better shape.
I mean, I think for the half marathon, it was great.
Yeah.
It's just, when you get into true endurance, it is a different energy pathway that you have to train in. You can't fake it. You don't just get it because you do CrossFit 5 times a week, like you have to, because you're pulling from different energy sources and stuff.
It's good to run and do CrossFit and work out
too.
Too.
Definitely.
Because I see big guys that can't even like probably run a mile. Do you know what I mean? Like, one thing, I did take Josh James to Soul Cycle, which is my shit, and he was dying. He's like, bro, you're killing this shit. Just because we're different. Like, I'm more that world, he's different world. Yeah, I remember taking Josh there. He was like, big ass on the bike. I love you, Josh. It was so funny, though, because we did different things together. But yeah, that's no joke either. Soul Cycle and all that stuff.
I believe it.
Do you ride too? Do you cycle?
I used to a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't since moving to Portland and then moving here.
Yeah.
I just haven't broken out my bike, but I got it here, so.
So now you're in Cali, man. This is crazy. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You've been here 1,000,000 times, obviously.
Yep.
Never thought you'd live here.
Yeah.
It's cool. But you came from Oregon, which is beautiful too.
Yeah,
I've been there many years. It seems like a beautiful place, man. The weather, the trees, the air, all that. Yeah.
Good vegan spots there, cool, too. Like hiking. Yeah, I'd say it's one of the vegan meccas in the world.
Yeah.
For sure. There's just tons of like food carts and coffee. So great for both.
Here too, though.
But here too, yeah.
Bro, there's so much. The east side, west side, there's like all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Fall Out Boy. When you guys are working on Save Rock Roll, you start doing demos and recording and all that stuff. What was it like to get back into the studio together? And how did that happen? Like, it was a 3-year hiatus. So what made that? Who made the call? Or this a group?
I don't remember actually.
Yeah. Who
exactly made the call? I think we kind of all came together and were like, someone was just like, "Would you do it?" And it got to a point where everyone was like, "Yeah, I think I could do it again." But we had a lot of like meetings together and talked through things like, how do we want to do this going forward? Everyone besides me had families and kids.
Gotcha.
So it's a different thing.
Way different.
And then, so kind of figured that out and how we want to approach it, how we want to tour. Definitely, we couldn't do it. We couldn't sustain the same intensity that we were doing
300 shows
previously, and then also going insane long lengths of touring straight into the next record, which means you're just going straight into another tour cycle.
Gnarly, dude. Yeah.
So it's like we got to have more built-in breaks. We got to approach it differently. Actually, speaking of Lars, I met him with Pete at some event in New York, and he was the nicest dude.
So nice, dude.
And he just came up to us and was like giving us advice on how they tour and how they have made it work so long.
With their days off,
which is all the days off. They basically do like weekend, like country style, where they do weekends.
Yeah.
And how that helps with having family and kids and everything.
Totally.
And yeah, so just that's how it started. Like, how are we going to do this sustainably?
Yeah.
So we can be happy and into it.
That's nice.
And also the songs were there. I think it kind of was waiting for us to be able to get into a room and talk, and also waiting until there were songs that were like, okay, these are good.
Were you guys sending songs to each other during that time, or towards when you made the record?
Yeah, it's kind of Pete and Patrick kind of are the catalyst to all that.
Yeah.
And then they'll bring in Joe, and he'll send stuff, and they'll kind of write on each other, kind of put everything together, and then they'll send it to me, and then I'll learn it.
Yeah.
And then go record it.
I'm sure people were sending you guys offers during that time too. Come play this festival or do that or something, right? Or people asking you guys to play. Yeah.
I think our management deals with all that, so we don't necessarily see it, or I don't.
During that time, for sure, yeah. So then going to make that record, just everything clicked again. You guys are back in the studio and just...
Yep. Did it in Melrose, I think.
Okay.
Or Santa Monica. And it was just cool. It was magical. It was super great being in the studio together again.
Yeah.
Like, it was just fun.
Yeah. But was there any expectation just making a new record? Is there putting a record out?
Yeah, we did it silently, so no one knew.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that song, man, What You Did in the Dark, my song, dude.
Yep.
So that's the first single, right?
Yep.
And so do you guys announce that you're back together, or just announce that you just dropped the song? Like, you remember?
Yep, same day, yeah.
Wow, dude. It's pretty fucking awesome. And people were
cool.
crazy. People were so stoked.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Did a secret show that night.
You did?
Yeah, in Chicago.
Okay. Where at? Metro or something?
I can't remember.
Something
Empty Bottle,
small.
I feel but something small.
So then you just announce it, and then that's it. And that record comes out. It's just...
And then we kind of went straight. We went from that record to the next record, straight to the next record.
Too. That's a big one, too.
Well, that was on the next record.
Yeah, the next one. Yes, I'm saying, like, after that.
And then straight from that, basically, into Mania.
Yeah.
The sixth record. And then it was like, okay, let's take a little break. And then the pandemic happened anyway.
Yep. And so much for Stardust. It's 2023, yeah.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, you did about the same records you made.
But it was a little... we did have more breaks built in.
Yeah.
But it still was kind of back to back to back. But
yeah.
It was fun.
But also less craziness than before, I bet.
Exactly.
Yeah, with some time to...
It wasn't 300 days a year. Yeah,
it's crazy. Since we're talking about Lars, people know he's my homie. So anyway, we went to Gracias Madre. Shout out to him and Jessica, who have Animal Play. She's a vegan activist, and she rescues all kinds of chickens, and she's amazing.
Nice.
You probably knew that, but I was going to tour the next week, and he's like, so how many shows you got? I got 9 shows in a row. He's like, in a row? And I'm like, yeah, we're in a Sprinter van. He's like, what? He's like, I never did that in my life. And I'm like, but then Rob Trujillo was on. He's like, when Suicidal opened up for them, we did about 7 or something in a row opening up for them back in the day, whatever. But
yeah, he
was just so shocked that like, I'm doing 9 shows in a row. I'm like, dude, that's totally fucking normal.
Yeah, totally.
And then we crossed paths. Like, we played Austria the same day that they did, but they were kind of far away, and we were trying to link up on the last tour. But like, they were doing like Austria. They're staying in the city for like 5 nights, playing 2 shows. I'm like, it's just a different world, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And he's just tripping on that. I'm like, dude, I'm in a fucking hardcore band, dude. We're not like doing that shit. But like, yeah, it's just interesting how different bands roll.
Oh,
but it is so important.
Well, since we've been back, we do like 3 days on, 1 day off, at least, if not 2 days off, and then 2 days on, 1 day off.
Yeah.
So we need to have breaks built in, especially for Patrick's voice and
smart,
sustainability and being able to do it
and be the best you can be.
Yeah.
So the rest is super important, especially. Yeah. It's interesting you say that for the voice, man. Yeah, it's hard when you're fucking in a van. You have 9 shows. Been trying to sleep. Sleep's so important for singers, especially. Do you go a little crazy on the days off? You seem like somebody just wants to be out there working.
I love it. Okay. Because I get to go to a CrossFit.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Get to find vegan place.
Yeah.
Find coffee, hang out there.
That's cool. But sometimes, I guess for smaller bands, days off are rough because like you're losing money. Like, where am I doing? You know what I mean? It's different. especially if you're like away from your family. Like I could be home right now with my family. I'm sitting here in the fucking field in Germany or something. Yeah, it's just different, man. Different ways of touring. But yeah, you guys come back and then it's just like, then it's just bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Were you guys like shocked by that? You guys had no expectations.
Yeah, totally shocked. It was crazy.
Like the places you're playing are bigger, just everything, man.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. It was only 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
But it's cool to be missed that much and loved that much. And then like, obviously this new kid seeing you for the first time that got into you in those past 3 years or whatever, never get to see you. And it's like, young kids are coming to the shows and there's like,
yeah, it seemed like there was a new generation of fans and the old generation was still there, which was a really cool experience.
Was My Chem back then too yet?
They were still around. They didn't stop until maybe a year, 2 after.
Okay. So they're still, yeah, that's crazy, man. Just like so many people. And I talk out on the pod with, as you know, the guys in Zulu, Dez, like his first like punk band was Fall Out Boy, and that was his exposure to everything, which I think is fucking awesome.
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then thank you for taking care of me at the show a couple months ago. You're so excited. But like, yeah, just like, and different people coming on the pod, like, oh, Blink-182 is my first punk band. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. Then I found all these other bands. Like, everybody has their first band.
Yeah, it is weird to be a part of that.
Yeah. And then people
to be that in for people.
And finding hardcore through Fall Out Boy.
Because I remember like one of the first shows I went to was Quicksand show, and I saw Sergio out by the bus, and I was like, oh my God, that's Sergio. And I went up to him and he was so cool.
Yeah.
And like that means a lot. That sticks with you, you know? So to be that to someone else is a really special thing, like to be a part of.
Whose idea was a GB cover? Is that you?
Probably Pete.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I mean, I would never ask for something like that because I wouldn't expect it to happen. I think back then, that was a while ago, maybe 2007.
How'd that come about? It was for something, right? It was like,
I think it was for some kind of tribute thing or something.
Yeah. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I think we recorded it with Machine in New York. And
that was cool. I thought it was for a video game or something. I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh, it might have been for Tony Hawk's. Might have been, yeah. But it was for a game.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Tony Hawk or something.
Yeah, that was super cool. Just seeing that. Because I know Pete loves hardcore too.
Oh, yeah. Everyone in the band.
All the guys in the band.
Comes from hardcore, yeah.
Really? That's sick. That's cool. They all have their own different bands you grew up getting into and stuff. And yeah, that's awesome, man.
I mean, that's how I met them, doing...
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Like Pete and I. Yeah. Pete was in Race Trader back then.
Was Pete straight edge too back then or no?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone was back then.
Really?
And then...
You're the last OG.
I'm the last one, yeah.
That's cool,
though. Joe was like... We called him number one fan. He was like the biggest fan of Kill the Slave Master, that band I was in.
Okay.
And then Patrick I met through the band, through Fall Out Boy. But he was super into hardcore and stuff like that.
Fucking Wentz, dude. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so then you're back on tour and you're playing all these shows and the pandemic happens. And what are you doing during the pandemic? How does that change your life?
I mean, because we went from being pretty busy again.
Yeah.
And I was also doing Race Trader again.
That's right.
Like at least once a month.
Okay.
And Sect, like at least once a month.
Yep.
And then, maybe some other project with friends or something. So when it happened, because I did, Race Trader did a tour with Refused.
Awesome.
In January. And then right after that, I think late February, early March, right before it happened, I did a weekend with Sect.
Okay.
And I was feeling, because it was just every weekend or every, 3 times a month I'd have stuff at least, if not like a tour, and then doing it on my off time, doing shows with Sect or Race Trader. So by the time pandemic happened, I was so burnt out and needed a break. I loved it. It was great.
You do CrossFit
and my wife
house?
And I had a gym at that house.
Okay.
In the garage.
Perfect.
But my wife and I loved it. We that was kind of the, what's it called? The test of our relationship, because it was early enough on. It's the first time I've lived with a partner.
Okay.
And we had moved in together not long before that.
And she's used to leaving and coming back and stuff. So
yeah. And so, this is the first time I'm living with someone, and we're not someone I lived with my friends before that.
Yeah,
but a partner. And, I get home and we're just stuck there. We can't even leave.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It's a great
We loved it. We did so well. It was like, okay, this is
she's the one. Yeah, she's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I've been married almost 30 years, and so we were like all in different rooms in this house, and my wife's like, I'm going to kill both of you guys. But she worked at the Barrack skate park, and there was nobody there, and at one point I was just like, you know what, just go there by yourself. She's like, I need to get out of this fucking house.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it, but
well, that's the thing. You kind of find your routines, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we would do our own things during the day. I'd be playing Call of Duty with the boys.
Sick.
She'd be playing Animal Crossing or like watching, Degrassi or something, like her shows.
Sick.
And then we'd come together at night, make food together, and then like watch shows and movies together.
Yeah.
Every night. Yeah.
Yeah. It was such a crazy time not knowing about music and what was going to happen.
And that part was weird. I mean, it was depressing in a way where it was like, fuck, I miss playing.
Totally.
But I am thankful for this break. Like, like the gaming with friends was awesome because we were like playing like D&D on Discord together. Nice. We were playing Call of Duty together all the time.
Yeah.
Like it was super, I almost felt like I was seeing my friends more.
Totally.
Because we had nothing else to do and we didn't, like a lot of them moved like across the nation.
Yeah.
So this was the first time we were really like linking up again as much as we did at that time.
Plus you're always gone too, man.
And so I didn't have the time to be doing that stuff, to be gaming with friends and on the regular. And it was great. I loved it.
And then the music, did you guys do live streams and stuff at all or no?
No, we didn't do anything.
Okay.
I remember Patrick once was like, do you have an electronic kit? And I was like, no. And he's like, you should get one. And this, I think, was leading up to Stardust.
Okay.
But I got one, and then nothing ever happened. Okay. And then it wasn't until, stuff started happening again that I was getting songs to finally learn. But, yeah, I think in the thick of it, well, Race Trader had recorded in 2019, early 2020, a record that came out after the pandemic. So that was in the back burner, so I knew there was something there that I did that it wasn't out. So that was nice. But then Sect, Jimmy and Scott started sending songs to us like when pandemic started getting old and feeling like, oh man, like when's this going to end?
Yeah.
That's when they started sending songs. So I was like, sick. Like now I have something to do. I have songs to learn.
Totally.
To keep me busy. So that was great. And that just came out a couple weeks ago or something, that record.
Yeah, Creation in the Timeless Order of Things.
That's Race Trader.
Yeah, that's Race Trader.
And then Sect
is new album, Plagues Upon Plagues.
Yes, yep.
Okay. Because both those came out. You played on both
recently,
those?
Yep.
Damn, that's so cool.
And then Fall Out Boy too.
Oh,
so by the time stuff started coming back, it was like the perfect time.
Yeah.
Like I'd missed it enough that I was so grateful to be able to play again.
Yeah. It's crazy. They kept announcing like what was essential. I'm like, music's essential. Music's so essential. We need it. It's like it brings people together. It's like it saves people. It's just, I don't know. It was just when it finally came back and then shows started getting announced and they would get canceled or tours would get postponed. It started getting like, oh shoot. It was like so like wishy-washy. I was like, are we ever going to play again? And if we don't, I had such a great time and I'm grateful too. But like life's going to be strange without music. Yeah. But then when it started happening, I feel like now it's just like, fuck, there's like shows every night.
Yep.
It's thriving, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool.
I feel like music's bigger than ever.
Yeah. So then you guys, that record came out and that was 2023. You guys already toured on that already, right?
We did 2 tours on that in the States.
Yeah.
Europe, Japan, Australia fests, Southeast Asia, China.
Sick. Damn. A lot.
Yep.
And are you guys working on something new now?
Well, now we're headed into like a break between records.
That's cool.
We still have a few festivals and things like that. And nothing concrete, but I'm sure at some point we'll get working on something.
Totally.
Nothing yet. So.
Yeah. And you just played in the Seth Meyers show?
Yeah. I did the week
That's
long
cool, man.
sit-in.
How was that?
It was amazing. It was a totally different thing.
I can imagine, yeah.
Which sucks because they fired the band.
Really?
So the next season of the show, the band's gone.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Which is super sad.
That's crazy.
And bums me out. I'm super thankful I was able to do it before that happened.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because it's such a cool... Do you know Eric, the music director?
No, I don't.
He's the one who brought me in. He's a drummer, which is why the the rotating
I saw
member as a
Weinberg was
drummer.
on there.
Yeah,
That's cool. Okay.
And I think that's just such a cool
It
concept,
really is.
you know,
Yeah.
to get, you know, Daniel Fang was on there. Mario Duplantier from Gojira was just on there. I think Lombardo's been on. Like,
yeah, for sure.
All these drummers I love have been on there, and it's just such a different tool set than being in a band, because you're kind of just doing, you know, coming back from commercial music that you learn that day.
Okay.
And then you write the walk-on music for each guest. So they have the walk-on music, you write the two things for the two guests.
Okay.
And then that becomes the commercial music. So for the walk-on, it's just an A part. And then the next morning, you write the B part and turn it into a thing. So basically, you just learn an A part and a B part, and you kind of keep going. And then the Eli, shout out to Eli. Start here. So Eli is the like director. So he's the keyboardist, and he's in your ear. And he's like, okay, let's go to the B part. And then you switch to the B part, and you're just vamping on it until commercials.
Got you.
Goes into commercial, and then until it comes back.
Wow.
But the walkout's just like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's the nerve-wracking part, because you're watching someone walk, and you're supposed to land it as soon as they sit. But not everyone sits. They'll get there, and then they'll almost like they're going to sit, and then they'll keep like waving.
Or they'll dance or do something. Yeah.
And you're supposed to land them when they sit.
Interesting.
So you have to pay attention, and that's nerve-wracking.
Are you there all day, every day, like tweaking stuff?
Yeah, you get in at like, I think the first day was 10, but then it was noon.
Okay.
And then you just do like a rehearsal in the morning. We kind of go through what the songs are for the day. You write the things. Okay. The two pieces. And then you do like a sound check run through of the show. Yeah. So they'll kind of do they'll just do us, like, you know, the producer will be Seth Meyers, like, okay, now we're going to commercial. So you'll practice what those cues are. Yeah. And then the show starts.
Do you know the guests are going to be all week in advance?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man.
It was awesome.
Can you wear whatever you want on there? You have to wear, you can't wear like band shirts and shit, really?
No, you can't.
Probably strict about all that
Basically
stuff.
Black, yeah.
Yeah. So then you're just on there, just chilling. Yeah, that's cool, man. So then you're watching the interviews too, because you're still there, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You just sit there.
Interesting, man. And then you're on TV. Oh, that's cool, man. Just a different world, right?
Yeah, totally different.
And you guys played in a bunch of TV shows, all that stuff before.
Yeah.
But it's way
this was way different. I know. Way scarier.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want to let everyone down, and it doesn't matter, because it is taped, and then they'll kind of put it together. Mm-hmm. So if you were to go on too long, they would cut it for the actual broadcast. Okay. So it doesn't matter, but you still want to do it right.
Absolutely. Because it's like,
so they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about the Taylor Swift song on the new record?
Oh,
that says Patrick
I think
on there?
Patrick and Pete went and did that.
That's crazy though.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Freaking huge, yeah. Like fucking.
Very cool.
How does it even happen? You don't know?
I have no idea.
His managers or something? Or somebody
her people must have reached out.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it
until... She's definitely a fan for sure of like all types of music.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know about it until a couple months before, and our manager just called me and was like, "Hey, just so you know, we have this thing with Taylor Swift." I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "When's it come out?" He's like, "We have no idea. Whenever she wants." Yeah.
Are there artists that you guys collaborated with or want to collaborate with that you want? Did you get to say something about that? Because like, we should work with this person, or?
I mean, we've done a lot of cool stuff in our history.
Yeah.
I love just making music with the band, you know? With
Yeah.
With the family, you know? It just feels good. That stuff's all Pete, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or Patrick, if he has an idea for what a good voice would be.
Yeah. What is different people, friendships, or people coming through?
Yeah, totally.
With you guys and...
But I mean, I mostly listen to like death metal and black metal and stuff like that, so I don't think any of it would be appropriate.
Yeah, for Fall Out Boy, it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of crazy though. Did you guys open for Blink at one point too? Didn't you?
Yeah,
back then.
Yep.
Was it a Honda Civic, one of those tours, or I forgot what they're called? The Pops. I forgot the name of the tours. There was so many crazy tours back then.
I bet we did a Honda Civic with them. We did a Honda Civic tour.
Yeah, Honda Civic. That was such a crazy thing. They were sponsoring all those tours back then.
We did it twice. We opened for them like in the parking lot. We were like the parking lot band at one tour, and then we were the actual like main support for a tour.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Parking lot. How was the parking lot?
Oh, sick. I mean, it was like we're on tour with Blink. This is the coolest thing ever.
In the parking, that's crazy, dude. Oh yeah, I remember bands would do that back then. They give the bands a car or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Those.
So it was cool though.
Wow, man. Fuck. Are you listening to new music and stuff too? New hardcore bands? You pay attention to that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, Zulu's sick.
Yeah.
Knocked Loose, of course.
Dude, I went and saw him play.
Amazing.
It was like 6,000
Amazing
people
live
there,
show, yeah.
dude. At the Shrine, sold out. There was like 5 pits. I was watching Speed and then...
Oh, Speed, yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching the crowd. I'm like, holy shit, hardcore is massive, dude. Like, yeah, they're going on tour Slipknot or something this year or something.
That's sick.
Yeah, there's like so many bands, man. There's so many like... It's crazy, man.
It's a great time for hardcore,
dude.
yeah.
What are some of your daily rituals when you're off tour? I know working out, your coffee.
Yeah, I'd say
drumming.
Get up at 8:30, let the dogs out, feed them, make coffee. I mean, now it's kind of weird because we're still settling in.
Yeah.
I still have boxes of stuff.
Congratulations, too. He's got married.
You.
Congratulations.
Yep. Earlier this year.
Awesome.
And then noon usually is when I go to CrossFit.
Okay.
But I'll go later today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. And then that's it, really. We watch shows at night.
You watch a lot of TV? Or like a lot of like shows, series?
Together we do.
What are you guys watching now? Anything exciting?
We just started rewatching True Blood.
Oh, I never seen that.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just started watching House of Cards for the first time. You ever seen that?
Never seen it, yeah.
Bro, it's crazy. It's really fucking good. But I haven't seen True Blood. We watch all kinds of crazy docs over here, and
we watch a lot of docs. She watches a lot of like Vanderpump and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'll watch it with her.
Okay. Have you heard of Naked Attraction?
No.
I'm not going to talk about the show. I'm going to tell you why. It's an English show. You can watch it on the TV in England, but it's on HBO. It's crazy, but we'll have to get on the podcast about that.
I think the last show we watched together, new show, was Fallout, which we loved. Yeah.
I think I saw that.
On Amazon Prime.
What about Baby Reindeer? You heard about that?
Mm-mm.
True story. Oh my God. We'll talk about the podcast. Yeah, there's some
send me a list.
There's some crazy stuff on TV, man. And you read a lot too?
Yep.
Do you read like a certain amount of books per month? Are you anal about it?
No. I go in and out with how much I read. Because I also game. So it kind of...
You game, okay.
It shifts what I'm focusing on. I did a playthrough of Dragon Quest 1 through 11 recently, which took like a couple years. So I finally finished that.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, I'd intersperse other games, but I was predominantly just gaming, so reading went way down. So I'm starting to read more.
For the listeners, gaming is where...
Video games.
You can talk to people, though, as a whole bunch of friends.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, I was playing Call of Duty and stuff during pandemic, but like Dragon Quest is like Japanese role-playing game, so it's single player.
Okay.
So just playing for hours.
Hours upon hours? Yeah. And you're by yourself? Oh, you play with people, obviously, but is gaming, like, people do that for a living, though, too, right?
Oh, that too, yeah.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay, I was going to say.
I don't really play a lot of online games.
Okay.
I usually play, like, single-player games.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'll play, like, Dragon Quest. A lot of the games are on, like, Switch or 3DS or something, so I just play with my wife and I would be on the couch, and I'd just be next to her playing, and she'd be, like, working or watching a show or something.
Dang, okay. Were you a Dungeons
and Dragons? So another way to
kid?
hang, yeah. And Dungeons and Dragons, yep. Played a lot of that during pandemic.
You a Star Wars kid?
Yep.
Okay.
Of course, all that.
I got you. They were trying to remember Cabal back in the day? Like, there was like a lot of Star Wars shirts. They were making,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, like they were trying to, like, there was a connection between Star Wars and Straight Edge or something. That was interesting. Wow, that's cool. Do you know that, you're a fan of Rancid?
Oh, obviously, yeah.
You know they recorded like one of the records at like his ranch or something.
Oh, Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah, they've been there. Yeah.
Which record? That's crazy.
Fuck, I don't know which one. We can look it up after, but it's a fact. Yeah, they
went Self-Titled and Let's Go are two, like, those two records and Minor Threat when I was in early high school were records I listened to every single day.
Okay.
Like literally those records that I wore out.
That was just like 30 anniversary.
Kokomo. My friend, like... We call wearing a tape out Kokomo because my friend wore out his Kokomo, Beach Boys Kokomo tape.
Okay, gotcha.
So we call that Kokomoing when you listen to an album so many times you wear it out, basically.
Okay. I just saw Let's Go turn 30 or something. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Wow, dude. What about Out Come the Wolves? You like that too?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Bro, it's a
classic.
I know, man.
But those first two were the ones that hit me at the right time.
Nihilism on there, Salvation.
Yep.
Bro. And Rejected.
Yeah.
I love Freeman's voice too, man. That's like one of the greatest American punk bands, I'd say.
Oh, of course.
In my top with like Ramones and stuff like that. Like just every record, every time I see them, I've never seen a bad show. Love them as humans, all that. Like fucking really great fucking punk rock band.
Absolutely.
Do you have like a main inspiration of a punk rock band, or besides that, or like a hardcore band, or like a top 5, or bands you still listen to that you love that's like was your main segue?
I mean, I'd say for punk it would be like NoFX, Rancid, nice. Bad Religion,
yeah,
Dag Nasty.
Yes.
Depending on where you put that.
Yeah. Dag Nasty, fucking one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Now
Minor Threat.
Yeah, Brian's in Bad Religion. That's crazy. The Brian's in Bad Religion, he was in Minor Threat and Dag Nasty, man. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing guitar player. But Dag Nasty doesn't get a lot of love as they should. Those records are incredible. Even I love Wig Out too. I like the two singers.
Of course.
Pete's voice is great. Did you ever see them before?
Damn. Never.
So good.
That'd be sick.
What about any major regrets in your life?
Not really. I think anything that I'd regret is just like a learning instance, you know?
No, for sure. A lot of people say
no time to regret, you know?
Yeah.
Just gotta live and learn.
Quit, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to quit playing drums ever?
No. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. You practice like all week long, you're playing drums?
Oh, no, I never play.
Okay.
I met Tomas from Meshuggah once, and I was like, what do you do to practice? And he's like, I never practice. I just go fishing when I'm off.
Wow, dude.
I was like, sick. I don't practice. I mean, because I'm, or at least was until the pandemic where I should have been, but I was coming from, playing
a lot.
Yeah. Like, I don't, and I'm not like all the new YouTube kid drummers who are crazy, unbelievable.
Man. Crazy, dude.
They spend so much time.
Yeah.
I just, at this point in my life, I just don't have the time for it.
Gotcha.
And I always played because I wanted to be in a band, not because I wanted to be a sick drummer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
I got to a point where I was like, okay, I can be in a band now.
Yeah. I mean, my son was saying some of those guys on YouTube never been in a band, never toured, never played shows. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
And they're beasts.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But it's different. It's a different kind of drummer.
Skill, yeah.
What about social media? Are you on social media a lot?
Not really.
You check your messages and stuff or DMs or?
Once in a while. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah, totally.
So you're really not much on there. That's cool.
It's the downfall,
It is, man.
It's a bad place.
For so much, man. Just the world, just everything about it is.
Yeah.
Everything's magnified.
Depressing place.
Everything's magnified on there.
Yep.
I can't imagine being like a young kid growing up and that's all you got. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty wild. Do you ever want to have kids?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
We talk about it.
How long have you been with your lady for now?
Damn. Election night 2016 is when we both said I love you.
Amazing.
We were going out that night with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Election night. And I was like, hey, before we go out, I got to talk to you about something. She was like, yeah, I have to tell you something too.
Aww.
And so I was like, shit. I was like, okay, well, you go first. And she was like, no, what were you going to say? And I was like, I love you. She's like, I love you too. That's what I was going to say.
That's freaking awesome.
I was like, sick. So.
Where's she from?
8 years. She was born in Longview, Texas, but she lived in Shreveport.
Okay.
Louisiana.
How'd you guys meet?
Through a mutual friend.
Awesome. That's perfect.
Yep.
Good, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
You're still young too to have kids. You're chilling. That's awesome. What about hip hop? You a hip hop fan?
Oh, hell yeah. Of course.
Do you grow up on certain artists and stuff?
Yeah, Wu-Tang stuff.
Nice.
I mean, all that stuff. Well, Public Enemy and KRS-One.
Yes.
Before that.
The best, dude. That's cool. Not many people mention KRS-One.
BDP. Yeah.
It's so good, dude. Talking about vegetarianism back then, my philosophy.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with new hip hop too and stuff or no?
A little bit. I mean, mostly Griselda, if anything.
Yeah. Wasn't Jay-Z perform with you guys once or come to a show or Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, he did the intro for Infinity on High.
Dude, that's right. Yeah. How did that? Were you there when that went down when he did the intro, or
I wasn't there, but he was the president of Def Jam at the time, or whatever that was. When I think the president of Def Jam.
I think he came on stage and did it some with you guys back in the day.
I think so, at one show.
Irving Plaza or something.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
nerding out.
I think that's true,
I don't know how the fuck I know this, dude. But yeah, I remember that, man. That was fucking, I was like, holy shit, Jay-Z, yeah. And he was cool about doing it and stuff.
Oh, he was rad. We got Rockefeller chains.
What?
Yeah.
You have You still have it?
Yeah.
You're going to send me a picture? No way.
From Jacob the jeweler.
What? So he brought them to you guys, or?
Yeah, we went into the Def Jam office once. We were like the island Def Jam office, and it was like, Jay-Z wants to see you guys. Come into his office. I just
got goosebumps. It's crazy.
And he was like, here. I was like, oh, cool.
Did he put him on? You just gave him to?
I think he put him on.
Come on.
I don't remember.
Come on, bro.
I don't.
I need to see you win this chain at one of your shows.
Oh, I never take it out. It's in a safe.
Oh my! So it's a legit chain from Jacob the jeweler. No fucking way, dude.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, one of the cooler things.
Bro, you got a Rockefeller.
That's happened in my career, I guess.
You got a fucking Rock Nation necklace. That's so wild, man. Holy shit. Damn, that's really fucking awesome. So he came out, did the intro, did the record, all that stuff. Yeah. What about any other hip hop artists in your career?
Have I what?
And met some other hip hop artists in your career?
I mean, we did a song on Save Rock and Roll with Big Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago.
What about people?
RJD2 remixed.
Oh, Run the Jewels.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, that's LP.
Oh shit. Okay.
RJD2 did the song that was like the Mad Men intro.
Okay.
I think, did LP do something? I know we wanted him to.
Yeah.
Because I love LP.
I love Run the Jewels too. It's
yeah,
so
and Run the Jewels, of course.
Wow, that's so. Other rappers, that's crazy. What about people that are fans of your band that you kind of trip out on that came out? Have you met people like that love the band that you didn't expect, or? I'm sure all kinds of people come, especially through LA shows, man.
Yeah, I can't think of anything right now.
But
I remember one time when Police like announced some tour and they did a show at like the Whiskey or something, some super small show. We went and we were able to meet Stuart Copeland,
dude,
after, and he had no idea who we were, but he knew who we were because his kid was a fan. So that was cool. Stuff like
that's
that.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Early on, the boss came into we did a Kiss FM show or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that. What is it? Yeah. Something like that in New York at Madison Square. And the boss came into our room because his kid's a fan.
That's cool. Stuff like that's really cool.
Yeah. And I wasn't there.
Oh, you
I was like in the bathroom or something. And they were like, yeah, Bruce Springsteen was just in here. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Wow. Oh, and then one recently-ish, we did a fest that Foo Fighters was on. I think another Kiss FM thing here recently. Yeah. And Foo was on, and our assistant, we weren't there yet, and our assistant was like, hey, Dave's in the room. He wants to say hi to you guys. And we missed it.
Damn.
Because by the time we got there, they were on. Wow. And then we went on right after.
I was stoked for Josh Freese, man, when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. He was in the Offspring, and he went to that, and then I think they're doing the Offspring now is from Suicidal, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lombardo, who's he play with?
Brandon?
Yeah, who's Lombardo play with now?
He's Mr. Bungle. And
Misfits, right?
And Misfits, yep.
Yeah. Obviously, you met him before.
Lombardo?
Yeah.
I've never met Lombardo.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm surprised.
I was in a band with Scott Ian, and he's in Mr. Bungle with Dave.
What?
And they played Portland, and Scott was like, hey, Bungle's playing Portland. You want to go? I was like, oh, shit, I'm not there.
Oh, man.
But tell Dave I said hi, and they didn't respond to me. And I was like, oh, shit, I overstepped.
No. You'll meet him someday for sure.
Dave Lombardo is my number one inspiration as a drummer.
Yeah.
My main inspiration.
He's so sick.
I've heard he's super nice.
What about the drummer that he was so sick? He was in Social Distortion for many years. He kind of just vanished from drumming. Dude, I forgot his name. He was so insane. He was a legendary drummer. I'm not gonna have to look up his name after this, but yeah. So you met almost pretty much all the drummers that you love except for him.
Let's see. Lars, yep. Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them. Max.
Oh, yeah,
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
The drummer
Minus Chuck Biscuits.
That's the one. From that's Social Distortion.
I didn't know he was in Social.
Yeah,
he was in Danzig.
With him. Yeah, so we opened for Social
Danzig 1 through 4.
So he was in Social. That's the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He kind of vanished from drumming or something.
Yeah.
I never heard from anything a long time from him.
There were always like rumors he died or something.
Oh,
and they end up not being true all the time.
I do remember that. What about Mac? You know Mackie Jason?
I
Bad Brains,
feel like I've met him. Yes.
Yeah. He's one of my faves too. He's in Fun Loving Criminals. He was in so many groups, man. Like,
yeah, he's sick.
In the Pocket plays all. He was a jazz drummer.
Yeah. Yep.
He went to the school where they shot that TV show Fame, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
The jazz drumming. Tommy Lee's pretty sick.
Oh yeah, he's legend.
Yeah. And Grayson's really great. I love Grayson now.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, right?
He's Eloy I met once.
Yeah.
I haven't met Grayson.
Yeah, he's super sweet kid. He's 21 years old. I was just on the pod. He lives at home still in Long Island. Shout out to Grayson. In Sepultura now, which is awesome. And then the other dude's in
Slipknot,
killing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then Jason, Suicidal. Yeah. Infectious.
It's just a whole kind of...
Yeah.
I had them both in my pod the same week, like 2 different days apart, but like I hung out with them out here and stuff. But yeah, I think everybody's where they're at is like kind of working and stuff. He has Infectious Grooves now too.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay's awesome.
Yeah.
Sect did a show with Hesitation Wounds, which is like a smaller band he's in.
Yeah, I know.
And we did it in a garage in LA.
Really?
Yeah. When he was still in Slipknot.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Would you ever play like on a hip hop record or anything like that? Have you ever played a hip hop record?
I played for Tyga once on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, no way.
For a thing.
Wow. Was it like his big song?
I don't even remember.
Rack City Chick?
I think it must have been, yeah. It must have been for that.
Oh, fuck.
I don't remember, though. There's a video of it.
Bro, I'm going to look that up. That's like his biggest song.
Yeah. It might have been right before that, though. Right before. I don't remember.
The takeaways from this, the takeaways like, Jay-Z gave us Rockefeller chains, and then, I played with Tiger.
I forgot about it.
But I love that. Those are crazy. For listeners, that's just crazy like moments, but like for you, it's like, just playing and stuff, yeah.
I absolutely would. I love hip-hop.
Yeah. My favorite takeaway from this is like you're all hardcore kids who played in a bunch of bands together. Then you started this band, had all this crazy success. You guys are living a dream, but you're still this hardcore kid. I think it's awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
You stayed humble. It's an amazing journey though, man. Like coming from where you guys come from and
how
you guys started like hanging out, just friends hanging out. And then who could fucking imagine like how crazy you guys are playing like stadiums kind of now? Like what's like one of the biggest shows you guys played since you've been back, like a headliner, if you can remember?
We headlined Download, which I think was 80 or something.
Oh yeah, that was
crazy.
How about like a stadium in like Chicago or somewhere?
Yeah, we played Wrigley and Fenway.
Damn.
On the last tour.
Yeah, that's great.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Coming from probably playing the Fireside Bowl at one point. That was such a great place.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a documentary about this. There's got to be like, I know it's a book maybe, but there should be like a doc or something. It's so incredible, that place.
Yeah.
Because that was close to where you probably went to shows in Chicago. Was that far?
We played there all the time, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the CBs of Chicago.
That was right down the street from where the Race Trader dudes originally lived.
Okay.
The apartment they lived when I met them.
Okay.
They were like right down the street from there on Fullerton.
And then what was like the equivalent to that for you in Milwaukee? I know the Rave's huge, but there was smaller venues there that like...
I guess still there. The smaller venue would be the Globe, which doesn't exist anymore. It's a Whole Foods now.
Damn.
But that was the place. That's where I saw 7 Seconds.
Okay.
And met like the Reign of Terror crew and like my first into like the straight edge hardcore community in Milwaukee.
I have a question too. Did you drink or smoke before you turned straight edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were young, you were partying a little bit and stuff?
A little bit.
Nothing crazy?
I mean, it was so short.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, I was like smoking weed all the time. And I stopped drinking because we got like a bunch of Mickey's Big Mouths, like Mickey's grenades, actually. And I remember drinking them so fast and then drinking whiskey and I blacked out and then woke up next to the toilet. And after that, I couldn't drink. It just made me nauseous.
Okay.
And I was already into hardcore and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be straight edge.
It's amazing.
And my mom, I remember cutting out of some book a thing to put like a weed pipe in. And my mom instantly was like, that's a weird book to be here. And she looked and found it and was super disappointed. And it, it's just my mom and I felt so guilty letting her down.
Yeah.
And I was going to like a drug counselor. She would send me to a drug counselor because I think she was afraid she's losing me.
Yeah, of course.
Like at, what was I, 15, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember finally being like, I'm going to be straight edge. I told the drug counselor and she was like, yeah, I don't believe it. Because I'd show up like stoned, have to do like drug tests. Like it wasn't legal or anything.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do anything, but I just obviously didn't care.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a tactic she used or if she really was like, you're a liar. You're not going to do it. Like you keep lying about this and you keep coming stoned or whatever. And that was the moment I was like, fuck you. I'm going to be straight edge forever.
Wow.
Yep.
That's like how you rebelled. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy you cut a book out. Like people do in the movies, they cut a book out, hide shit.
I thought it was genius and she found it immediately.
It's did your siblings drink and smoke too?
Yeah, when I was still smoking, I remember I can't remember what it was for. I think a wedding or something of one of the half brothers and half sisters.
Yeah.
And we were all together and I smoked weed with Maggie and Sean, maybe Kevin, the second youngest kid, boy. And that's because I remember smoking weed before that and I never got high because I only smoked weed like 2 times and it didn't work. And that was the first time I actually got high. And I remember coming home, going to sleep and I was just like, Mom, I smoked weed and I'm high. I'm sorry. And I felt like really scared and bad.
Yeah.
But and then I got into it. Yeah. I was always honest with my mom.
Yeah. It's crazy because both of us had traumatic things happen with losing our dads, and we could have went like a total different route, but I feel like hardcore kind of like...
Yeah. I mean, I was on that route, I think.
Yeah.
And then hardcore kind of saved me.
Yeah.
Because I have an addictive personality, so it's kind of all or nothing with me.
Yeah. Now you're addicted to CrossFit, which is good because you're fucking healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting the path from having that kind of trauma that we end up doing, and the people the tribe we find in hardcore and punk and straight edge and veganism and all this stuff. It's like,
crazy. I think that's why, my friends look out for me like family, why that always resonated with me. And because I think you feel that same exact way, is that's the hole in my life that hardcore filled.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hardcore was my family.
Yeah. And it
that was a huge, like that record is a huge record for me too.
Oh, thank you, man. The first album. Yeah. Shit.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I still feel that way. I still live that way. I still have friends looking out for me in a whole different world. It's not just hardcore, it's adults and it's everyday living and different friends. And yeah, man, it's definitely saved my life. And it was a family, like not having the structure at home. It was my mom raising 3 boys, and it was like they were partying, drinking, and they got me to punk and skate, but then I found hardcore. Like it just, that whole family, like that whole, not that my mom didn't love me and there wasn't love and structure in my house, but she was trying to raise 3 boys on her own.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. But she trusted me that I was out there skateboarding and going to these shows and I was safe. And then straight edge was just like, whatever. Like I was just like, I'm not never doing anything. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing that's, people think so big and it's so like, oh, hardcore is this and that. But hardcore is still a very small community and subculture that was still part of in our adult life. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Still telling people like, you play hardcore, like what does that mean, or what's your band sound like, or what are you doing? Even in 2024 with the internet, still people like hardcore, like it's still something that like, it's amazing. Yeah. And you guys are just hardcore kids playing the music you play. Yeah. I think it's awesome. I think hardcore is not just one sound or look or style. It's a spirit in us, and it's how we live our lives. And I don't know. People can call so many different bands hardcore, but it might not be somebody else's hardcore sound. But nobody owns the blueprint to this shit.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so Fall, it's a hardcore punk band to me. Fuck everybody. I'm saying you guys are hardcore kids. You live it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
You're fucking straight.
I mean, it's a spirit. You know,
totally.
It's like
keeps us young, bro.
It's the community of it that makes it what it is.
Absolutely, man.
Not the sound necessarily.
And you guys are still taking out bands on tour and fucking repping Zulu and all that. It's fucking awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here, man. This is awesome, dude.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking about this for a fucking ever. I've seen you a million times throughout the years, and I don't even know the first time we met. I don't know if H2 ever played with Fall Out Boy, man. Maybe I don't think so, man.
Unless it was a festival, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember.
It's crazy, but maybe with one of your fucking 100 bands.
Yes.
It's cool, though. Welcome to California.
Thank you.
Next time we have time, we have to come over and plunge and sauna and all that shit, dude.
Yes, that'd be sick.
I'm sure you crushed that stuff. You've done it before.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I not plunge, but like ice bath on tour every night.
Oh, you do?
Right after I get off stage, I go straight to it for like
it's backstage?
3 minutes. Yep. Oh, well, it's like an inflatable.
That's still sick. You bring it on tour?
Yep.
Motherfucker, that's so cool.
It helps a lot, yeah.
Wow. So you just go right into that shit. Yeah. That's cool. So you would just inflate it and fill it with ice during the day or something?
Yeah, while we're playing.
Are you the only person
we
doing
bring
that?
a PT out, which at this age, it really does help.
Yeah. That's really cool. So like you get massages, all that kind of shit? And
yep.
Damn, bro. And you guys get vegan catering in sometimes, obviously?
Yeah.
Who does the ice?
It's
just
okay.
You?
What's that?
You the only one doing the ice?
Actually, Pete got really into it too. So
awesome.
He'd find like plunges at facilities.
Yeah.
And so when he'd go with our photographer Elliot, and he'd always ask me, and I'd go with him.
That's cool.
And then it would be like hot cold. So you go sauna to plunge to sauna to plunge.
You have to get that for your crib for sure, man.
Oh, for sure.
Does he have one too? Probably at his house.
I don't know.
I'm gonna connect you with the plunge people.
Okay, yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, for sure. You guys should definitely.
I'll let him know too,
especially in California.
Because I don't know if he does. He should. I'd imagine he does.
You listen to Andrew Huberman?
Yeah, I have.
That's my dude. Yeah, he's awesome. Punk rocker, skateboarder. Like, he's the dude I go for. I don't look on the internet for stuff. I have a question to ask him because he's Stanford. Yeah. Well, awesome, dude. I feel like we're definitely gonna hang more. You live here.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I do CrossFit with you. Maybe I should give it. Maybe I should give it a second try with you since Josh gave me PTSD from it. Might be interesting. Yeah, now I'm going to Gold's.
I'd be nicer.
Yeah,
to you.
You've been doing it for a long time too.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
What about tattoos? You getting more tats? Would you ever tattoo your neck?
I mean, I have to finish it. But at this point, I got my hands.
It hurts when you get older, though.
Oh, yeah, it does. It sucks.
But I just can't stop doing it, man. It's definitely something I don't know.
I think I only have the tops of my feet left, really, except for filling this in.
You have your palms,
too? No.
Yo, it's fucking...
I just don't know how I'll
so brutal.
Heal it because
Dan Smith kills
because I have to play. Yeah.
Yeah, he killed me. Yeah, I love it. It does. Yeah, drums, you're right. But
so it's just not worth it to me, like how long I'd have to heal it and not play.
Yeah.
Or work out, do CrossFit,
Would you ever tattoo your head?
That. No. My wife has her head.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Oh, she has a lot of tattoos. That's awesome, man.
She's tougher than me. Yeah, that's for sure.
Women can definitely take pain.
Yes.
That's a whole other topic. So people really can't reach out to you. They just have to come see you play.
I mean, Hurley XVX on Instagram.
Are you answering messages really there?
Not really. I will once in a while if something like really speaks to me. Like people say, some heartfelt story. I'll be like, "That's sick."
Yeah, you gotta respond to that stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, right now it's a pretty depressing time. It's kind of hard to be inundated with, all this trauma and sadness and shittiness.
It's scary, dude. The election, all this stuff coming. That's a whole other episode. But it's a crazy time right now with the world, with politics, with the war, just everything happening, man. It's just like it's overwhelming, dude.
It is.
Do you pay attention to all that? You watching the news? You like?
Yeah, I pay attention to it.
Yeah,
but it's like, talking about it on social media or whatever doesn't do anything.
Nothing, dude.
Like, the people making these decisions don't give a shit what we think.
Facts.
And I don't know how much, who you vote for matters at the end of the day.
Which
I mean, obviously there's little things that matter, but it's like ultimately it's all the same shit. So I don't know.
I know, man.
It's depressing.
And if people it's crazy that people fan out on presidents. It's like, nobody gives a fuck. I'm just being honest. Like, nobody cares about all the people in the world. It's like they think these people are gonna save everything. I don't know. And people are so excited about celebrities and homeboy's a fucking felon. Just all this shit. It's just It's we're living in a reality show, man. It's
for sure. And it's just so depressing.
It is.
And social media has been the kind of at the forefront of making everything worse. And
100%, man.
And I totally get it. Like we all feel the powerlessness, for these things that are happening that we can't change, that we can't stop. And so you go after things that you think you can change, or after people, or whatever. I understand that, but it's, for me, it's just, like, I have to stay away from social media as much as I can because it's so depressing to see all these images of the world that are just tough. But it's like,
I feel like you feel like you're like me, like you feel the pain of other people. Like you take that, and
So I think, what if people want to vote or do whatever, that's great. Do the things you think. But I think, hardcore, it comes back to hardcore, like DIY, like the things you want to change, do it yourself in your life, like the way you can with the people around you, and how you can affect that. And like, I'd say, smaller grassroots activism or whatever is a more powerful, impactful thing that can affect local politics are a little more important at the moment.
And also punk is always for us, and hardcore is like question everything, look into everything. There's so many things about hardcore that like we have in our adult life
that are important lessons.
Ethics, just everything. It's just like seeing all this shit for what it is. And I don't know, it's a very fucking crazy world, man. It's very next couple months can be very interesting, man.
For sure.
Scary too. We just gotta keep it positive and keep playing music and keep, trying to lead by example and be the best humans we can be, and try to help the environment. It's impossible to be a perfect human, let alone a perfect vegan. We do our best we can. We try to fucking help the world and the planet, and use our platforms, everything we can to do it. And it's just like, man, it's fucking, sometimes it's just like, fuck, it'll smash your head against the wall.
Yeah, totally.
With the end of positivity with PMA. But thank you for being here. This is fucking awesome, man. I'll come see you guys. You guys playing LA this year at all? Or no? I probably just missed it.
Yeah.
You guys in Anaheim or somewhere recently or somewhere.
Yeah.
Where Zulu went out to. Yeah. But
no, it was earlier this year actually, Anaheim.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. Thank you for being here, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
This is awesome.
Sick.
Bye, everybody. Peace. Hey, we're back on the podcast with Andy. Hi, Andy. How are you doing?
Good, doing great.
We just cold plunge and sauna. It was a hard one for me today. I barely stayed in there for a minute, but you did like 2 minutes. How'd you feel in there?
It was hurting. My hands and feet hurt, but
yeah, it's interesting to see the people who have different reactions to it. Some of my friends can't put their feet in there. Some can't put their hands in there. It all depends on the person, I guess.
I have the hardest time when I'm getting in and I don't just go straight down to my neck.
Yeah.
If I do that, the second time we did it after we sauna again, the second time I did it was much easier because I just went straight
in,
and then I can just focus on breathing and not
the
fear of getting all the way in.
Yeah, because if you stand in there like you did originally, they start questioning it. Like,
what am I doing? Hurting, yeah.
But we talked in the sauna that you do kind of do like the Polar Bear Club too.
Yep. Polar plunge. Yep.
And that's every January.
Yep.
I wonder if it's 38 degrees like that was.
I mean, I think it hovers around somewhere around there.
Yeah. And you were saying that too, that you kind of you bring like an igloo full of like super hot water, and then you put your feet in there after you got out of the water.
Yep. That's like the key to surviving it. I think as long as your extremities are warm after you get out, it really doesn't hurt.
Are you the only person doing that there?
I have a bunch of friends who'll do it with me if they're around.
So it's like a known thing.
Yeah. It's a huge thing.
And so you put your feet in there.
It's like a citywide thing.
No, I'm saying as far as the hot water in the igloo.
Oh, that is not a known thing. That we learned from these old polar plunge dudes who've been doing it for like 30 years.
Okay.
And a friend of mine was talking to them, and they had something like that set up. Yeah. And they were like, dude, do this. It makes it so much easier.
So there's not many people doing that. It's kind of like a secret thing.
It's a secret.
Nice. So the one question I forgot to ask on the pod, I ask all my guests, are you an optimist or pessimist?
I'm a nihilist, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. That's tough. I'm a little of both. I'm optimistic. I have hope that things could get better, but I'm pessimistic in that I don't know that I think they will.
Yeah. My wife says she's a realist.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Yeah. So you seem like a pretty chill, positive guy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I look for the positive in things and the good in things.
Yeah. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of roll with the punches. I mean, I think in ways everything has gotten worse in my lifetime, and in ways things have gotten better, like all depends on how you approach it, I guess, and look at it.
Yeah. We was coming to the house and Max is like, He's so chill. You're very calm. You're always a calm person.
Yep.
Like, how do you handle? Do you show stress if you have stress? You work out so much, so you probably
that kind of helps with it.
Yeah, but you don't seem like a person
I think I
worries
do.
and shit.
Yeah, I don't worry too much. I kind of just accept what's happening. I guess I'm a realist in a way too, because I accept what's happening. What can I do to make it better or to move on from here?
Yeah, but always been like, you never like a crazy, hyperactive person.
No, not really.
Well,
I mean, I probably have moments like that.
When you play the drums, you're a beast. You're like a different person.
You.
Yeah, you're like a savage. That's like your other. That's how you get it out, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And CrossFit stuff too.
Yep.
But definitely doesn't seem like a person that has like any crazy stress levels or like.
No, not really.
Do you ever get like angry and like rage?
No, not too much.
Wow.
I just don't see the point. You know.
Yeah.
I think it just makes things worse.
Yeah. Even like being a hardcore kid too, like you just like, yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I think it's definitely a thing. I think CrossFit helped my mentality with that. Just, one step at a time. Just start the workout or start the thing and don't think about where you need to be or what the goal is. Just keep pushing through. Yeah. Step by step.
Do you listen to music when you work out?
Yeah. When I work out on my own.
Like earbuds and stuff?
No, I'll have like a speaker. But then I since moving here, I got a membership at a CrossFit gym.
Okay.
So I listen to whatever they're
playing. Yeah. But when you do it by yourself, you listen to like just probably heavy
Usually
stuff.
I have like a death metal playlist that kind of runs through.
And what is an artist or type of music that you listen to that people would kind of trip out that you like, that you listen to? Something that would be surprising to the listeners for Andy to be listening to? Some type of music.
I get people might be surprised I listen to death metal. I don't know. I'm not sure.
What about like poppy stuff or like, do you listen to like pop stuff?
Of course. I listen to everything,
Yeah.
I had a huge reggae phase last year at some point.
Last year?
Because I never really got into reggae.
Wow.
But Patrick, our singer, loves reggae and ska and is like a font of history on all of that stuff.
Yeah. So like classic reggae.
Yeah.
Steel Pulse,
like
stuff
Decker
like that.
and Desmond Decker and Peter Tosh and
what about
Steel
like,
Pulse, yeah.
What about like just like poppy stuff like I don't know, like Beyonce or like Taylor Swift or Katy Perry, stuff like that. You listen to it all.
Yeah, all of it. If there's good songs, there's good songs,
Yeah, I feel like punk rock kind of taught me to listen to everything, be open minded about it.
Chapel Roan, that's
what is that
super big right now.
What is that?
This lady who's the biggest thing in the world right now. It seems like Chapel Roan, I think.
I never heard of her. Wow.
My wife loves her.
Dua Lipa?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it's always like that. My wife would get me to something too, like that. Something that I wouldn't really hear. But what about like Paramore, or like Sade, or Adele?
Oh yeah, of course.
All that stuff.
Yep.
Are you an emotional person?
Yeah.
You get emotional like seeing movies or listening to certain music?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Yep.
I was trying to figure
I'm
you
a
out.
very emotional person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very sensitive?
Yeah.
Same.
But I'm good at being realistic about what I'm being sensitive about, if I'm being crazy or not.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm good at recognizing I didn't get enough sleep, so I'm taking things poorly right now.
You're exhausted.
Like that. Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah. Overtired. When I come home from tour, I'm super cranky towards my wife, and she's always like, "You need to go to bed or stay away from me because I'm overexhausted, get emotional." Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
What about therapy? You ever had therapy?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Yeah. Did you like it? You remember it?
I liked it. I thought it was great. I think it's a good thing for everyone to do.
Yeah. I'm so torn on the therapy thing because I've only been a couple times and I always talk about it. And it's like, am I really going to go back? I don't know.
I think you have to find the right therapist.
Yeah.
And I think just the act of talking about things is good for you,
Yeah. Just even right now, just in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I could talk to my wife about it all day or sing about it, but talking, I don't know. The more you talk about things, obviously you get them out, but I don't know. Well, shit. That was cool hanging out with you today and plunging, and I knew you were going to kill it. You're a savage, dude. I can just tell you fucking, you timed yourself. You're very like, You had your breath right.
Yeah.
It's important though, man. I think
that's the key is your breath.
Yeah, it's the main shock too. We also talk about like how Huberman says that like 50 degrees and below, it'll have the same effect on you. But we also talk about like having it at the lowest. It could be 38. It's more mental. It's more of like harder. And
dealing with that spike in adrenaline and kind of freaking out.
Such a
and
weird
not letting
thing.
it take over. Yeah.
It's a crazy, like hot and cold is something that can really help you more than like a pharmaceutical pill. Like just taking a cold shower and all this stuff that's happening now is just, you know what I mean? It's so amazing.
Yeah.
The effects that it has on people. And people listening don't have a plunge or can't afford a plunge. You can put ice in your bathtub. There's so many things you do. Plastic bag, put in like a barrel. I see people online doing all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah.
Just to try it out. And you were saying that on tour you have when you get off stage. That's awesome.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Does everybody use it or just a couple guys in the band?
Mainly me and Pete.
Yeah. It must be so nice coming off stage right into that thing, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Damn. I gotta find one in Europe, man. And we talked to also today too before the podcast about sleeping and jet lag and just all that stuff, just making it through those first couple of days on tour and trying to like stay on it and just it's hard, dude.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, it's a crapshoot. It's just different every time.
Yeah.
There's never one way it hits me. You know, every trip overseas is a different feeling. Sometimes I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine the entire time. And then I come home and I'm smashed.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I like coming back smashed. I'd rather not be smashed during the shows, but
yes, totally.
Coming back is super freaking hard. And then last but not least, I always have the compliments to the people with the good hairlines. You have a good hairline. You have great hair, sir. I'm always envious of people's hairlines on the podcast. Your hairline's growing like forward, like you were never going to lose your hair. It's awesome. God bless.
Thank you.
All right, Andy, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
I'm sure of all my questions. I did regrets. I did optimists. I'm trying to think of this stuff on my list. I was like, I missed something with Andy. But yeah, I'm psyched. We live not too far from each other. It's cool. And my friend Greg was here too. He lives in the neighborhood. He's a good handyman to know.
Nice.
It's amazing. Straight edge electrician. Okay, awesome.
Good community here, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. All right, Andy. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art Pico-Wave laser technology. Cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.